Bartlett with weather. This is Channel 5's Eyewitness News.
And the church in the Bay Area that's breaking the law to help Central American refugees like this mother and her child.
The sanctuary movement has a new member tonight. The Sisters of Mercy Convent in Burlingame has opened its doors, now a sanctuary for Central American refugees. Rolando Santos reports the first people to pass through the convent door looking for sanctuary were a mother and her 18-month-old daughter.
The soothing ring of bells echoed through the Sisters of Mercy Convent in Burlingame. 200 nuns have gathered here to offer Luisa and her young daughter Jessica sanctuary. A refugee from El Salvador, Luisa carried a cross into a special service in the chapel, the cross symbolic of the burdens faced by refugees. Luisa told me she'd fled El Salvador after being captured and tortured by government troops at the age of 15.
They captured me because I witnessed them capture other students who lived near my house. And killed them.
Although grateful for the sanctuary, she's still scared enough to wear a mask to hide her face. Years of hiding and living in fear for her family back home don't allow her to relax.
Bueno, la persecución de inmigración,
the persecution by the immigration,
el miedo pues a ser deportada sabiendo de que llegaría la muerte.
The fear of being deported, knowing that I would go home to death.
For the Sisters of Mercy, the decision to publicly become a sanctuary to refugees is a reaffirmation of the Order's founding purpose, to help those in need. Luisa and Jessica will stay here as long as they want. And yes, the nuns are aware that hiding illegal aliens is against the law.
We are doing this out of a religious conviction, a moral belief, and we realize it has political implications.
And what are the chances the Immigration Service will raid the convent looking for Luisa? Well, the chances aren't very high at all. See, the convent is one of several in the Bay Area that have publicly declared themselves sanctuary for refugees. And an INS spokesman told us that those sanctuaries are simply not a high priority item, and they're usually left alone.
That's comforting for Luisa, but she says it doesn't erase the nightmares of her past or stop the anxiety for her family's safety in El Salvador. In Burlingame, Rolando Santos, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Luisa says she's committed to doing her best to make public the things going on in her country, that she will do what she can to save her family in El Salvador from what she calls the death squads that her government tells the United States don't exist.
Now, Channel 7 News Tonight with Pete Wilson, Suzanne Sons, meteorologist Pete Giddings, and John Buren with sports.
The ongoing violence and unstable political forces in El Salvador has many fleeing the country. Thousands are coming to America and finding sanctuary in the churches. In a highly publicized and symbolic ceremony, a 20-year-old Salvadoran woman and her daughter were given sanctuary today. It was an act of defiance of immigration law, but the Sisters of Mercy feel no guilt.
Of the thousands of refugees who have requested political asylum, 2% have been granted. Of the thousands of Guatemalan refugees who have requested asylum, only half of 1%, where refugees from Afghanistan, Iran, other countries are granted asylum on a much larger percentage. And so we're asking our government to please be more equal in the keeping of its own agreements.
Because the Salvadoran woman and her daughter are in this country without immigration approval, they could be deported, but local authorities say they have no plans to do that. This was, in a sense, symbolic.